Have you ever said something in English and then you get that feeling? You know the one. Wait, that didn't sound quite right. We've all been there, and it's usually these small little grammar mistakes that are the most annoying. Well, today we're going to fix that.
Does this feel a little too real? You've got the vocabulary, you know what's going on in the conversation, but when you speak, something just feels slightly out of tune. Well, you're definitely not alone. And the good news? The fixes are often way simpler than you think.
So today, we're going to tackle 10 of the most common grammar hurdles that trip people up. And I promise, by the end of this, you'll have the tools to clear them with confidence and make your English sound so much more natural.
Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to start with some time-traveling tenses. Then we'll jump into that tricky, continuous confusion and wrap it all up by perfecting the perfect tenses. We've actually grouped the mistakes this way on purpose because the logic behind them is connected, which should make the rules way easier to remember. First up, let's talk about time. So many common errors happen when we're just trying to say when something happened. Was it in the past? Is it now or in the future? Let's get our timeline straight.
Okay, this is such a common one. You've made a plan with your friend. It's a fixed arrangement, right? But when you say, "I will meet," it kind of sounds like you just decided to do it this very second. To talk about a future plan that's already set, we actually need a different tense.
And here's the secret. For future plans you've already locked into your calendar, you use the present continuous tense. So think I'm meeting, we are flying, or she is starting her new job on Monday. It just signals that the plan is already made. Here we go, another little time travel trap. You want to talk about seeing a film, but you mentioned a very specific time in the past, yesterday. The second you name that specific, finished time, your tense has got to change. So the rule is actually pretty simple. If you say exactly when an action happened, yesterday, last week, in 2010, you have to use the past simple. I saw, we visited, he finished. The action is over and you've put a timestamp on it. Done.
Ooh, this one is sneaky, but it's a real giveaway. We use used to all the time to talk about past habits. But when we ask a question with that little helper verb did, something has to change. Can you spot that extra little D? Here's how to think about it. The word did is already doing all the heavy lifting, you know? It's putting the whole sentence in the past. It's like the time machine for your sentence. So, the main verb, use, doesn't need that extra D. It gets to just chill in its simple form. Did you used to?
All right, next up. Let's talk about the ing verbs, the continuous tenses. This is all about actions that are in progress, and this is where things can get a little messy. In this sentence, the phrase every weekend is your giant clue. That tells us we're talking about a regular habit, a routine, not something that's happening right this second. And for routines, the present continuous just isn't the right tool for the job.
So here's the big difference. Present simple, she plays, is for habits and routines. Present continuous, she is playing, is for what's happening right now. Think about it. It rains a lot here is a general fact, but it's raining outside is about this very moment.
A total classic. Even if you're talking about what's happening right now, some verbs just do not like that ing form. These are verbs that describe a state or a feeling, not some big dynamic action.
And they're called stative verbs. Just think about it. Believing, knowing, loving, these are states of being. They don't really have a clear start and end like running does, right? So even when we're talking about the present moment, we stick to the simple form. I don't believe you. Okay, this one's a little more advanced, so stick with me. We've got two things happening in the past, the reading and the arrival. To show the correct order of events, that one action was already happening when the other one interrupted it, we need a more powerful tense. It really just comes down to the sequence. The reading started before you arrived, and it was still going on. The past perfect continuous, I had been reading, is perfect for this. It sets the background scene for the main event, which was you arriving. Now on to our final set of mistakes. The perfect tenses are so powerful because they connect to different points in time. Yeah, they can be tricky, but once you get the logic, they unlock a whole new level of sounding fluent.
Okay, think about this situation. An action starts way in the past, like 2005, and it's still true today. If you just say, we live, you're only talking about the present. We need a tense that can build a bridge from that point in the past all the way to right now. And the present perfect is that bridge. We have lived covers that entire period, from 2005 all the way up to today. It perfectly connects that past action to what's happening in the present moment.
This is a pretty similar idea, but this time with a continuous action. We're not just saying the cat is sleeping now. We want to emphasize how long this has been going on, from this morning all the way until right now. And for that, we need the present perfect continuous. Has been sleeping puts all the focus on the duration of the activity. It's the perfect answer to the question, how long? It's been happening since this morning, and guess what? It's still happening.
Okay, our final mistake takes us into the future, and this one is all about the sequence of future events. I will finish means the finishing happens at the same time or after you arrive. But what if you want to say the sandwich is already gone by the time you get there?
For that, you need the future perfect. I will have finished tells us that the action of finishing the sandwich will be completed before that other future action, your arrival, even happens. It's like you're standing in the future, looking back at something that's already done.
Phew. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in a really short time. We've gone from future plans to past habits and all the way to actions that will be finished in the future. But what's the big idea that ties all this together?
Here it is. First, context is king. Words like yesterday, every weekend, or since 2005 are your secret clues. Let them guide your choice of tense. And remember, understanding these rules is step one, but practice. Practice is what turns them from rules into natural automatic reflexes.
So as we wrap up, just take a second to think. Which of these grammar hurdles felt the most familiar to you? Because honestly, just recognizing them is the first huge step to clearing them for good. Keep practicing, and I'll see you next time.